Yeah, some heavy bastard stuff, isn't there? The greatest part of playing music is loading the gear. I don't like actually being on stage. I just really like loading the gear, man. Like fuck. I'll tell you what, the Lurkers would have signed to CBS or EMI just like the Clash would. You know. That's the way it was. That's the way it is with most people. I just want to make a good living out of it and have fun and travel the world.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And avoid normal jobs. I managed to do that pretty well, but not really making much money out of it. It's just a lifestyle that you know it's hard to leave because it can be such great fun, you know.
Yeah.
Meeting people all the time and seeing going around the world, you know. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Travelled enough.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
If not for just the driving, it feels like we've been
we
somewhere.
haven't done enough, but we're getting there. This year's definitely closer to...
It's weird to see the switch from sort of last year. It was ask everyone and play anything we can. And then come like the start of this year, it was like people are asking us back, or people we haven't heard of who have heard of us.
Yeah.
And are asking us to play.
I don't think this year all our gigs, I think maybe 2 we've asked for, and everything else has just come to us, which is really like nice. Our name out and our music out as much as we can.
I think that would be the thing. It would, just push it as far as we can take it.
Until
if someone's interested in taking it further, then fucking brilliant. And if not, we'll just keep pushing it further and further if we can do it.
No, go for it. No interrupting at all.
Are you going home now?
Yeah.
Javier, sorry.
Thank you for coming down as well, you crazy.
Where's Matt?
Awesome crowd
Well,
circus.
he's out already.
Bye.
Yeah, we'll sort out it.
Where's the camera? Arno.
No, it's fine.
No, just I was listening what they said.
The camera's over there if you want to talk to it.
Yeah, there you go. Directly at it.
Talk to it.
You might think that we're racist, but I assure you that's not true. See, we love those Irish bastards. Honestly, we do. They haven't had it easy. It's their resilience we will toast. But we're fucking Bournemouth, that's in England on the coast!
I just think that what these guys are doing, and I say this from the bottom of heart, is like, it's fucking amazing because they are fucking playing every fucking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every fucking where in London, England, any fucking where in England. You play Friday, Saturday, you are giving up your own fucking life just to be having your dreams coming true, and you are not expecting money, you are not expecting beers, you are not expecting anything, but you are just expecting to spread your word. And that's what these guys do. And that's why we came over here from London to support them. Sinful Maggie, it's been amazing, not for the fact that their drummer wants to come over and play with us, but for the fact that they have been playing everywhere. They are hard-working band, they have been doing videos, they have been doing their fucking albums, they do their own recording, engineering, producing, mixing, mastering, and that's
alright. He's from fucking London, he's in an entirely different band. You'd think, oh, it'd be competitions. Like, no, I want to do it. Yeah, we've played with them, what, three times maybe?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, it's like a brother.
Definitely.
But not like a fat, bold brother like I've got, but, it's like a brother with cool hair.
Yeah, I done Pinpoint then. That was much more, and I played guitar, not bass in that band. And we had a lot more sort of social, political lyrics in Pinpoint than the Lurkers stuff. But when we recorded the album, because we didn't record anything with them for over a year of actually being with Albion Records, which was a bit weird. We actually recorded an album with Martin Rushent, who was a very good producer for the Buzzcocks and other people. Very naive, I didn't know what I was doing. And it took 4 months to make this album, and it just destroyed us, because the bass player, Dave Allen, really enjoyed doing all this micro-composing stuff and whatever, and I didn't. And he ended up becoming Martin Rushent's engineer, and the next album Martin Rushent made with Dave Allen as his engineer was Dare by the Human League, which was a massive record. And if you listen to that record and the Pinpoint album, you'll hear a lot of the similar sounds. We were kind of guinea pigs for this sort of thing. And I didn't like Martin Rushent at all. He was a very rude, piss-taking bloke, you know, bullying type of horrible bloke. And it broke the group up. We've only done 2 gigs after we'd done that, finished that album, and that was the end of it, really.
What's the wise man said to me? Destroy the hope and prophecy.
Sounds too pop punk.
Yeah.
What about the last now?
Yeah.
Songs in 3 days.
So we've been on average about 7 songs a day. I think it worked out.
And
So
you know, it's still up in the air if like a certain few songs get finished or not, or that's a later project.
it's been brutal. It has been brutal.
Been good.
Yeah, great, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. So keeping it simple and keeping it us three, we all connect so well and gel as musicians as well. And it feels right just being us three now.
With a knife pulled from your soul, you're waving around like it's your only goal. Our lives we're meant to make, yet you try to hide it, balance it. It's all I am, seen it all before. These things will never change, you'll always stay the same. Just never remain, and it's dead you wait.
Please say that was Phil.
Punk is dead. I mean, whoever says punk is dead probably hasn't listened to anything apart from like the Sex Pistols, really. So they kind of don't know what the fuck they're on about.
So what you're getting at is you're a punk historian, and that's brilliant.
I don't want to say that because I don't, you know.
Don't like that.
When I kind of came to the band, there was even more. There's always, I mean, it's not the biggest goal going, but you know, there's always something to learn. There's like, you know, you hear, you can hear stories that, you know, can like.
I think that's a fun thing, doing shows and being told certain stories. And
sometimes will, you know, impact you. You you know what that's about, and you're like, shit, you know.
The other kids out there that are thinking that they should do it and they're debating it, just go and do it, just go and have fun, make some noise, make some music. Someone out there is going to enjoy it. As much as a lot of people sort of see punks and think, oh, scary man, Mohican, chains, studs, like, it's not like that. Just come to Rebellion, you can see it.
Obviously, knew a bit of punk here and there. Obviously, I was like knew a bit of Green Day or Offspring, shit like that. It wasn't until we were in college and he introduced me to a band called Hattrickers, which was the first proper which was the first proper punk band I ever really took inspiration from, or really got into, because it was just a genre that never really branched into. I'm not too sure why, it just never did. From there, I got into a few other bands, and then I think the first, besides your dad's band, first real punk show I think I ever went to was the Casualties at the Underworld.
Yeah.
After seeing that, we went there as a band, I think, and I was like, fuck, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to play. And really found what I wanted.
Coops. Well, there's a big band in Germany called Die Toten Hosen who are absolutely massive. I mean, really, really big band, and they've been going for 35 years or something now. And I got friendly with the singer, and he took us on tour. Well, what he did actually was to say, if the Lurkers want to do a comeback gig, I'll finance it all and you can do it in my hometown, Dusseldorf. So we did. But I wanted to play the bass like I used to and get the original singer back. But Pete Strider, who wrote all the songs and played guitar, said, no, we don't want him, you sing. And we get Nigel, who was the bass player, Pete Strider original on guitar, me singing, and Esso played drums, who was the original drummer. But he only played that one gig. But then it went very, very well. And then the singer of Totenhausen said, right, I'll finance a comeback album.
The Lurkers well known in Germany at all? Was it just that band were into it?
Because that band were really into it, and he, obviously had massive publicity around it all. Yeah. We had quite a lot of people turn up to see us play because they were big fans of the Totenhausen. But we had an album out there in 1990 that got Record of the Week in the biggest selling music magazine called Bravo, which is a bit like Smash Hits.
Okay, yeah.
And it didn't sell brilliantly well, but you can't live in the shadow of somebody who just is a fan of yours. It doesn't matter how much they say. We didn't. Once he'd done that album, we were on our own, and it was back to sort of square one really. And we didn't have a major record label and whatever, so we were putting out these records in Germany and it started to dwindle, as it does. The initial burst goes there, and it didn't build up any bigger than the initial sort of few tours. And then 25 years ago, Pete Stride left. So, I carried it on because I put all the work into it. It was all my effort.
Yeah.
Pete Stride would just play the guitar and write the songs. Nothing else, but I was doing all the managerial stuff, agency stuff, T-shirt stuff, van stuff, organising everything, because I'm a good organiser. But he left. He left, and he expected me to give the band up, because he left. People said, "I'll always be a punk," as if it's fucking been conscripted. It's ridiculous. I like all sorts of music. I was going to gigs from the age of 13 in 1969 all the way through the 70s. It's just punk came along. It was great. It'd be 21 years old when punk came along, and being an inept musician, it was something I could play. I didn't have to be fucking really good. Doesn't mean I didn't like people who could play really well. I still, punk isn't my religion. It's something I do because I enjoy it, and I make a few bob out of it, like as a living, and I have a laugh, and I know loads of people in it. And I should do it until I drop down brown.
I was already in a punk band before, like a feminist punk band, but I was kind of feeling a bit unsure about the punk scene at the time, which was majority white and not really kind of willing to question anything about race or kind of any of that analysis. So I saw an advert for a gig called First Timers, which is about kind of getting more people to start punk bands, and specifically people from marginalised backgrounds and more women and more queer people to start bands. So I decided that will be my opportunity to start a black punk band.
I was living in York in the north of England at the time, because that's where I'd gone to uni and I was still working and stuff. And but I was born in London, so it was really exciting for me to hear in York that there was this new black feminist punk band in London. So when I moved back, I was really excited to get to see the band play.
when people see us on stage, you know, that will mean that there will be more black women bands or black people-led bands that will come out after us. And you know, so then it won't be so, you know, hard to find people. And I think it's just like people are there, you know, Rich Rags around, and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, there always has been a legacy and a history of both women in punk, but especially kind of like people of colour in punk. It's the kind of, sometimes the scenes are kind of disparate and it feels like it's not linked, but like our influence and our kind of contribution to the scene has been really essential. It took us 5 years to get to this, and it was by chance that we bumped into Thurston Moore and they released our record. I mean, it is just so much harder for women to kind of push through in that sense.
Because I think what we're proving, you know, you saw the amount of people that came here tonight, and it's a range of people. It's, you know, it's women of colour, feminists, but then there's also, you know, like white, older Irish guys that come along who can connect with it. And I think that's important for, you know, the labels and all those people to see, because, you know, people are like, how am I going to market this black feminist punk band? Who's going to, you know, it's like people want that shit.
I think me personally, I was influenced by Riot Girl like when I was a teenager and growing up. So that's kind of more about the DIY element of punk, and kind of, I always loved the idea of kind of creating rather than consuming your own culture. So I guess that's kind of where the Riot Girl influence comes in. I think to just remember that, you know, there's always someone that wants to hear what you're doing. There's always someone that's been waiting all their life to hear the song that you may think is kind of like silly or kind of not as important, but, you know, everything that people do is important, and you can inspire so many different people even without realising it.
Tell us about it. That's going to go in that thing on top of. Stay there. Hold the end of that. Hold it, yeah.
Nostalgia is a lot of fun. Now that I've turned 51, if it's new, I won't go. They won't play a thing I know. The missus thinks it's no good. I've got my second childhood. I won't even buy new stuff by the bands I used to love. Come on, this if you think you're old enough. Come on, this if you think you're old enough. Come on, this if you think you're old enough. Come on, this if you think you're old enough.
The Lurkers, class of 77, 77, 77, 77, 77.